If you grow zucchini about this time every year, you probably have more zucchini than you really want to know about. And the ideal method of reducing the amount is not to not pick it for 3 days. So you may want to start picking it when it's a little bit younger so you have smaller zucchini. But today I'm going to show you something you can do with some of that extra zucchini. And so today we're going to make zucchini spaghetti. I've already got about half to 3/4 of a pound of whole grain spaghetti. You could use other pasta, but since you'll have to change the name of the recipe if you do. We're using whole grain. That is usually sold in 12 to 13 ounce boxes so that it's not like other spaghettis that are often sold as a pound. So it'll come close to being the amount that you need when you purchase it. Now what we're going to do is I've got 2 teaspoons of canola oil. The pan is fairly hot already, so I think I can go directly with the next ingredient. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, and these were healthy large cloves, so we've got a lot of garlic, but that's fine with me. I like the flavor going in there. We don't want this to get too brown, so I'm almost immediately going to add a chili pepper in adobo sauce. Now this is one that's canned and it's smoky. It's got some liquid in it, so you see we're getting a lot of snapping going around here. And we don't need that to go very long. I took out 1 pepper and I wanted to reduce the amount of heat, so I took the seeds out of it. If you like a lot of heat, you can leave them in. But it does give a lot of flavor in a small amount. I chopped it and removed the seeds and chopped it, and then I also added 1 tablespoon of the sauce that comes with that in the can. It's a 7-ounce can. You should be able to find it in most stores that have Hispanic items these days. Now to this, I'm adding 4 cups of shredded zucchini. And this is really the only thing on this recipe that's going to take you any time. If you've got a food processor, that's not even going to take you much time. You're going to let this saute. A lot of times there's a lot of water in zucchini, and there was in this as well. But because we're doing it this way, that water is going to evaporate off, so you don't need to worry, like if you're making a baked product and you're adding shredded zucchini to it, you don't need to worry that this is going to throw the balance of the recipe off, because that steam is going to, or the liquid's going to come off as steam. Now this is going to saute for about 4 minutes, and you do need to stir it pretty much constantly while that's happening. We're just really trying to get that zucchini to wilt down and get everything mixed together so that the flavors are throughout. Now I had the pasta ready to go ahead of time, so I'm going to pretend I'm stirring constantly for just a second and get the pasta over here. Now I'm using a big bowl. I find that for most things that I do, a big bowl is going to give me better results. But when this is done, our pasta is well drained. You may want to save maybe half a cup or even a little bit more extra for storage if you have some left over of the cooking water on the pasta. Because if this begins to get a little bit too dry when you serve it, because the moisture from the sauce and the zucchini is going to be absorbed into the pasta. So by having that extra water, if you have some left over, you can add it to the storage container, or even keep it separately. You can always use it in soup or something else at a later time as well. Okay, we'll let this go for a few more minutes, and then this is going to be ready. All we'll have to do is mix the two together. The zucchini is now wilted, so we're ready to move it over. It should take about 4 minutes, but again, it's going to depend a little bit on how finely you shred it. Better to do it on the coarse side of a box grater than the other. Simply move that in with our pasta. I always think it looks sort of like raisins in there, but it is in fact the pepper. And the smell of that smokiness is really quite amazing, and you mix that with the garlic and it's just really just a terrific, enticing aroma. Now you can do this with tongs, or you can do this similar to what I'm doing here with a couple of spoons. I've got some tongs, but I thought I'd try this one first. I want to spread the sauce out well. Now this can be served hot. It can also be served when it cools down a little bit. So if you get this ready a little bit ahead of time, that's going to be fine. And the last things I'm going to put in here, a little bit of salt. And I'm using a coarse salt here. It's about half a teaspoon. You could use less. I did not put salt in the pasta water, so if you did use salt in your pasta water, you may want to leave the salt out at this stage. Taste it and make sure. And I've also added about 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Those are going to get stirred together. And because it's spaghetti, I've got a little bit of basil, although we don't have any basil flavorings in here. I've got a little bit of basil that we can use as a garnish. Get it out of the way while I scoop some of this up. And there you go. This makes about 4 servings. And on a nice hot night when you don't want to heat the house up a lot, this is really, really nice to have to go along with maybe just some grilled chicken or a little bit of ground meat that you've grilled into a patty without the bun, since you have all the pasta here to go with it also. And then finally I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top of that. So we're not adding a lot of fat to this. It's a fairly low fat dish, but the cheese just adds a lot of flavor to it. I hope you'll give this one a try the next time you have more zucchini than you know what to do with and less time than you need to fix something else. This is Zucchini Spaghetti for Oklahoma Gardening. I'm Barbara Brown.